I'm going to be ranking every single repo monster based on two things. One, their design, which comprises of two parts, their looks and their function. And the second thing I'll be ranking them off of is how dangerous I think they are. I have like 200 hours of repo now, been in love with the game, and I think I played enough repo to give my full expert opinion on these monsters. So yeah, let's get right into it. First, I think I'm going to start with the list all about design. Now, I think this is the clown. I like the clown, although he can be annoying sometimes. We're not. I don't know if we're talking about like that, but in terms, okay. First of all, in terms of looks, I really like the clown's design. I think he's a really like cool monster, and like his function, like he has two attacks. Although the laser attack is quite easy to dodge, I think that he just adds feels a much needed like bracket of monsters that don't just like whack you, because like the robe, the robe, the headman, what else? The animal, the upstream, they all just like physically attack you. But the clown is one of the only monsters that has like a ranged attack. Well, it's the only monster that physically has a ranged attack. But obviously stuff like the trudge, the bow tie, and like the peeper and that are technically ranged. But I think the clown is just so unique in its attacks, and I just love the design of the clown. And then in terms of function, that can't well that goes with design, that goes with looks. Like I love the looks of the clown and I love the function. Like I just think feels a much needed bracket. The design is really cool. I like how I think in like lore it's like because there's like that item in Swiftbroom, like the what is that called? Like a staff? Like the laser beam staff thing. Like that's connected to the clown, which I find is really cool. And I think in terms of design, I know some people might agree because they have hatred towards the clown, but I think the clown is an S tier. I absolutely love the clown. Now, going over to the animal. Now, the animal, I don't really know how I feel about the animal actually. Um, I think it looks. I guess it's meant to look ugly. Like the animal is alright in function, but it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't add anything interesting in the game other than being annoying. So for that, I think I'm gonna put it in C tier. Like it's not like it adds something to the game, but like it's alright. Now the duck, I think the duck's design is. I think looks wise, I don't really know what looks you can rate it on because I mean it's a duck, but I think its function is one of my favorite. Like I just love that it's like this very nice looking, friendly duck, but when you touch it, it turns into an apex predator. And I just think like I know R.E.P.O not the first game to do stuff like that, but like from my experience, I think that the duck is one of the coolest like monsters, and I honestly think it's also S tier. I know we're like three monsters in, and I've already put two monsters in S tier, but like I think pretty cool. Now the bangers, like I like the design. Like I mean, it's just like a skull, but like I like the fact that obviously you can see it explode and like there's animation. I know all the monsters have animation, and I think I think it serves a good function in the game. Like it's not too interesting of a function, but I think it's a nice thing to add to the game. And I like compared to the gnomes, which are really annoying. Like the bangers, they're like they pose a threat, but like they're not annoying and they're cool. So I think for that they deserve a solid B tier for the bangers. Now the bow tie, in terms of look, I don't really get this guy. I don't really like how this guy looks. Like I don't really like the bow tie. If I'm being honest, like its function is alright, that but like I also don't get the name. Why is it a bow tie and not like I don't know. Like I just don't really like the bow tie, and for that, I think I'm gonna put it in C tier. And I know that may get a lot of hate, like bow tie in the same tier as animal. Like, are you crazy? But yeah, it's just like meh. It's just a meh like creature. Like you can remove it from the game, and nothing would change. Like I just think it's quite annoying, and it's just not really my favorite monster. I didn't really fall in love when I first met the bow tie. I was like, okay, well, there's now this giant. The only cool thing about the bow tie is that it makes a really loud stomping sound, like the clown. Now, the eye, the peeper. I'm no, 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 no. I need to add a new tier. Row below. Hold on, hold on. How do I modify tiers? How do I add tiers? Hold on. Red. F. Hold on, wait, it needs to be pink. Repeaper. It's the worst. The worst monster in the game. It's so annoying. You can't do anything about the peeper. Like, if you're in the middle of a room, if the peeper's on a high ceiling, there's a 90% chance you're falling in the pit. I'm not funny. I'm not being funny. I hate this monster. And if you get so close to the peeper, you just can't escape. It's genuinely such an annoying monster. I hate the peeper so much. It's so ugly. It's disgusting. I hate it. And for that, it's going in F tier. Now, moving on. moving on. A monster I really like is the Mentalist. I think the Mentalist is, like, I just love, like, the Mentalist. Although I do think the Mentalist really should have its strength buffed. Like, this is probably in the danger tier list when I do that later on. But, like, I'll speak on that more later. But, yeah. I think I love the idea that, like, I love its attack. I think its attack is one of the most unique and coolest attacks. I don't think this monster's too annoying. Like, I know some people don't like it, but I think this monster is the perfect monster. Or it's like a perfect type of monster. Like, it's balanced, it's threatening at the same time, but it's also not too annoying. And I like how it looks. I like the really big brain. It's really funny. So that's going to go in solid A tier for me. Now, the gnomes. Like, I get the gnomes. I get that they're meant to, like, break valuables and stuff. But I just think they're a worse baby. Like, I think they're a worse Rugrat. Like, I'll speak on the Rugrat later, but I like the Rugrat's, like, way that it destroys items. But the gnomes, it's just like, whatever. And I keep saying like, and it's annoying me. But the gnomes, I'm gonna have to put them in D tier. Just annoying, really. Just annoying. Doesn't really add much to the game. Just breaks your valuables. They're just a worse version of the bangers and the Rugrat, and it really annoys me that they exist. Now the Reaper. Oh my god, the Reaper! I despise the Reaper. I think the Reaper design is cool. The Reaper's design is cool, but it's just so broken. It just ruins it for me. It just shreds your health instantly. And it's just like, cool design, cool concept, execution, terrible. This monster needs a huge nerf. And I know we're not talking about danger, but I think it ties in with design. Is like how the monster actually plays out. And think, I think if it was balanced properly, I'd put it probably in B tier. But for that, I'm gonna have to put it at bottom of C tier. Like, I like the looks of the monster, and I think the design is cool in concept. Like, the function's cool in concept, but it's just not it for me. It's just not it. I just annoyance. Now, the Headman. I don't really know how to feel about the Headman. Like, it's not bad. Like, I think the looks is really funny. Like, just a giant floating head floating towards you is, like, super funny. So the looks for me are top notch. The function, I like that it flies. I think that's unique. That like, I don't know, do any of these mobs fly? I guess technically the duck. Did I just lose? Okay, there we go. We're back. I guess technically the duck flies, but I think it's quite unique that it flies compared to all the other monsters. And I also like that it doesn't one shot. Like, I like the fact that it does 50 damage. Because something like the robe, that's a one shot on, like, obviously level 1. But, like, the Headman, you could take a hit from the Headman. And I think that makes it... The Headman's threatening, but it's not game ending in most scenarios. And I also really like the touch. Like, you know, when the Headman attacks you, it's quite a clumsy monster. Like, it will start flying all over the place. It's not very good at chasing you, say something like the robe, or like the alien, or like the Reaper, for example. And I think that adds a lot to the monster. So for that, I think I'm going to put it at the very top of A tier. It's not S tier for me, but it would be at the very top of A tier. Now, the Huntsman. I mean, if you're putting the Huntsman anywhere but not anywhere that's not S tier, then you're wrong. The Huntsman, love the design. I think it's so funny that the one of the most threatening monsters in the game is just a blind man with a shotgun. No, he's not blind. Wait, no, he's blind. No, he's blind. He's blind. Hang on, I thought he was deaf for a second. No, a blind man with a shotgun is one of the most threatening monsters in the game. Cool design. I like how he like walks around using his shotgun as a walking stick. Very nice touch. I really like his attacks, And for that, I think he's probably one of my favorite monster in the game. Maybe the clown's above him, but just because if I like how funny the huntsman is, like if you have multiple people, because obviously he's based off sound, and the moments the huntsman makes, I put him at the top. Although recently I have had encounters with the huntsman that are really weird, where he just like he gets annoyed at me and just shoots in a complete opposite direction, which I think is really funny. Now the robe, I like the robe, but like it's not super cool. I think the design is really weird. I don't know why. I think I like the idea that it's silent, but the one thing, my one big criticism for the robe is I think it does too much damage. I think the robe should do 50 damage like the headman. 100 damage for a monster that's silent. Like at least with the huntsman, you hear the sound. You hear the huntsman and you hear the humming. But the robe, it's just like just out of nowhere, and I think it's a really like annoying monster. Like I know the robe is slow, but like if you get what I mean. I do like how the robe speeds up when you look at her. I think that's a nice touch. But for that, I'm going to put it at top of B tier. It's not A tier just because I don't like how much damage it does. Moving on to the Rugrat. I think a lot of people really hate the Rugrat, but I like the Rugrat. I think the Rugrat is it's a better gnome. It's a better banger. It's like it destroys your valuables, but it uses them against you. And I also find it really funny when it's like the end of the run and there's no items on the map, and the Rugrat just can't pick up an item to fight you. And I just think that is super duper funny. And yeah, I think the Rugrat for me is top of. I'll put it between the robe and the banger. Now moving on to the Trudge. Um, I I quite like the Trudge. I think that the Trudge is. I think the Trudge. There are some bugs with the Trudge, or I think are bugs that need to be fixed. But ignoring that, like there's a bug where the Trudge, even if the Trudge is like Trudge is stunned, it can still do its smash ability, which has killed me before. I think, which was really annoying. But other than that, I like the design. I like how it's like really slow and like it's literally the epitome of a monster. Like you see that thing coming towards you. That is like I was once jump scared by the Trudge on my second day of playing the game. It was just so hilarious looking back on that now. I don't think I have the clip anymore, but like I like the Trudge is slow. I like its attack. Like I guess like the fact that the attack does a lot of damage. Like I don't like that sometimes the attack can one shot. I think the attack should do 100 damage solid. But I also like that there's some randomness with the attack because you can still like if you get dragged far enough with enough velocity, you could come out the other side of the Trudge's like pull, which I think is really funny because you can technically you can live the Trudge's attack, which I think makes a lot to the monster. And for that, I think I'm going to put it in A tier. Although I don't think it's better than the alien or the headman, in my opinion. Now the hidden, I think the hidden is alright, but if you remove it from the game, not much changes. I'm being honest. Like, I'm gonna put it in C tier. Like, I think I like it more than the Reaper and the Animal. Actually, I'll put it maybe at the top of. I think that the Marshmallow Man adds more to the game than the hidden does. All the hidden does is kind of provide as an annoyance. Like sometimes it's funny, but at the same time, like when it grabs you and throws you into pit, that's just annoying. That's just annoying. Nobody likes that. So yeah, for that, I think it's gonna go solid C tier. The Spewer, again, C tier. Like it's a cool like level 1 monster. I like how it latches to your face, but like the design just looks weird for me. But I do think it's probably the top of C tier for me. Now the Shadow Child, other than the fact that I think the Shadow Child needs to be able to lift up quicker. Like 9 strength for the Shadow Child and it's always 3k. That needs to be changed. Like make it like 7 strength or something, or 4 at that point. Well, 7 probably for level 2 monsters. And then make the orb like the same as the frog, like 4 to 5k. Like why is it so little? Like it's such a hard monster to kill unless you have something like the sledgehammer or the shotgun. I actually quite like the Shadow Child design. I'd say probably in solid B tier. Like I think it's cool. I think it's a cool monster. It adds something to the game. Sometimes it's annoying, but like you can avoid it for the most part. But I think for the newcomers, it's really funny to see them just stare at Shadow Child and just like get yeeted. It's so fun. The frog. I love the frog. I actually love the frog. I think the frog it might be one of my favorite monsters. Like I don't think it's better than like the Huntsman in terms of design, but I think the frog is such a funny monster because it's just so unthreatening. It's so unthreatening. Like all it does is just like tumble around. Like he really should just be a chef. Like why is he a monster? Like let bro cook. Let bro cook. I I think the chef for me is at the top of A tier. I love the design. I love the chef. Like I love the chef hat. I love the design. I like the fact that there's a frog. I like that it just tumbles everywhere and it's absolutely chaos. It adds so much to the environment. And for that, I think it's definitely top of A tier. Maybe bottom of S tier. But again, I don't want to put too much in S tier. So for that, I'm going to put it at top of A tier. Although I do love the frog. Now, upstream. 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 Get out of my face. Get out of my face. Genuinely, such an annoying creature. I hate the upscream. I hate the upscream. I hate the upscream. Why is it silent? Why it makes like no sound? Like it has sound, but it never makes sound. All it does is sneak up behind you, throw you into the pit, ruin your run, ruin your fun. It's such an annoying creature. Doesn't add anything to the game but pure utter annoyance. Just like the peeper. I hate the upscream so much. But yeah. Whew. After that short run, that is going to be it for like the design thing. And next I'm going to do a whole new tier list with danger. I'll try and do that one a bit quicker because I have been at this for like 15 minutes and I don't want this video to be too long. But yeah, let's get into that. Okay, now moving on to danger tier list. First, we're starting with the clown. I think the clown's a solid monster, but like, once you get the hand of the gimmick, it doesn't become like once you know how to dodge the clown. The only point the clown ever becomes actually dangerous is if it's with other monsters. Like say you're focused on a huntsman or a robe or a headman, and the clown just catches you off guard. I think no, it's solid up there. It's a tier 3 monster. It's dangerous. It does a lot of damage if it hits you, but I think it's definitely the least threatening tier 3 monster out there. For that, I'm gonna put it in B tier. Yeah. Animal's in D tier. I'm sorry. I don't know. What do I even need to explain about the animal? It does like 2 damage a hit. The only way I see the animal being good is 1, it stuns you enough for another monster to kill you. Never had that happen to me. Or 2, it pushes you in the pit. I also don't think I've had that added to me. Danger is just not dangerous. Kind of similar with the duck. However, the only reason I think I'm going to put the duck either in high C tier or low B tier is just because if another monster hurts the duck, or if you're holding an item, the duck bashes itself into it, the duck will attack you. And for that, I think I'm gonna put it at the very top of C tier. This barely happens to me like once every few runs, and even then, I just run away from the duck or whack it with a sledgehammer. But I guess on lower levels, it is probably quite dangerous. However, on lower levels, you don't have many monsters for the duck to work with. So for that, it's just C tier. Meh. Now the bangers, the bombers, the skull people, whatever you want to call them. I don't really know where to put them because I feel like I think that they are more threatening than they actually are. Like for me, the bangers are annoying. I think I've lost one like level 15 run to them, but other than that, I don't think I've ever died to the bangers. So I I think they're less dangerous than the duck, maybe. I might change that later on, and if I do, then I'll highlight that. But for now, I think I'm going to put them slightly less dangerous than the duck because they are a small monster and they don't really do that much damage because you can just throw them away. Like if they all exploded you in a tight room, then they can do lots of damage. But if you're going to a tight room and this bang is chasing you, then what are you doing? Like I'm not being funny. Now Bowtie, I think I'm going to put Bowtie in B tier. At the bottom of B tier, I think that it's better than the duck just because it is one of the main culprits from aggroing the duck. I think the Bowtie has great like synergy with other monsters because it can stun you while another monster kills you. And also if it gets you in a corner, it can do some pretty good damage. I think it normally does like 80 damage if it hits you with everything. But I do think it's a solidly dangerous monster, and for that I'm going to put it in B tier. Above the clown, I don't really think so. Just because the clown's attack do 100, like I would not put it up there. Now the eye, I've already gone over how about I hate the eye, but I do think it's quite dangerous. I think on as you go along on the levels, it gets more and more dangerous. I think if we were just talking about the later levels, I'd honestly put it either the top of A tier or maybe even earn that S tier title just because of how dangerous it is. But because of that, I think I'm gonna put it in A tier just because we're considering like the whole game. I'm gonna put it in A tier, and I know that people that haven't got super high runs might not actually think that the Peeper is actually that dangerous of a monster, but trust me, it is a very dangerous monster. Now, moving on to the Mentalist. I honestly think the Mentalist is kind of a pathetic monster in terms of danger. Like, I don't think I've ever been caught. Well, not. Obviously, I've been caught in the Mentalist like weird bubble thing. I love the Mentalist. I love the design, but you could just like outrun it or escape the beam, and even then, like one of your friends can drag you out of it. So I think for that, I'm probably gonna put it at the bottom of C tier. Now the gnomes, like the gnomes can be dangerous with a bunch of them, but at the same time, you can normally kill most of them before they get you, or here's a strat: just jump on a really high surface and they just can't reach you. And for that, I think I'm going to put it in C tier, but I think it's probably less than the bangers in my opinion. I think the only way that the gnomes are really that dangerous is if you're on 1 HP, but that's with basically every monster, so. Now going on to the Reaper, I think the Reaper is one of, if not the most dangerous monster. I think if I, like, the Reaper genuinely is one of the only monsters I'm genuinely scared of on later runs. It can shred your health instantly. Like, the Reaper once caught me without a stamina. I lost 200 health. 200 health to the Reaper before it finally gave out. Luckily, I had 300 health, or I would have been cooked. But like that is crazy. I think the Reaper deserves S tier. Super dangerous, super deadly. Yeah. Now we're going on to the Headman. I actually don't think the Headman's that dangerous. I think it's a very like obviously it's dangerous, but most maps there's places to hide from the Headman, and because of its clumsiness, unless the Headman catches you from behind, which I never normally see the Headman do that. And even if it does that, it only does 50 damage, and you can normally tank a hit and escape. So I think for that, I think it's still A tier. I would say it's slightly above the Peeper in terms of overall because it's dangerous at every stage in the game. I would put the Peeper above it if we were just talking about late game, but yeah. Now the Huntsman is dangerous. The more people you have, the more dangerous it is. I think I'm gonna have to put it in S tier just because it deserves that. But in like my past like few days, ever since the update came out, the Huntsman like gets annoyed at me and just completely misses. I don't know if I'm like lagging, but the Huntsman just is like jump scared when it hears a sound and just barely ever shoots and hits its target recently. I don't know if anyone else has seen that, but I think it's got to go in S tier. You can't put the Huntsman in S tier, but I think it's definitely going to go at the bottom of S tier. Like, I think it's dangerous, but like, it hasn't really killed me recently. Now, the Robe, I think the Robe might be the most dangerous monster. I don't know if I think the Robe or the Reaper is more dangerous. I think just because of how silent the Robe is until it attacks, and the fact that the Robe does 100 damage instantly, where the Reaper, if the Reaper rolls up on you and you have stamina, you can outrun it. Whereas the Robe, sure you can outrun it, but it's already done 100 damage to you, and that might just be it for you, especially on early runs. And for that, I think I'm gonna put the Robe at the very top as my most dangerous monster. Moving on to the Child, I honestly don't think he's actually that threatening. Like, I just take the iron out of his hand. Like, I think I'm gonna put him at like, I think sometimes, I think actually no, I think he's just going bottom C tier actually. Actually, maybe yeah, I'm actually just gonna put him in D tier. I think the animal's still less threatening, but like, this just doesn't do anything. I don't even remember when I've ever been hit with him, but I think I've definitely been attacked by these monsters and damaged by these monsters more than I've had the Child. The Trudge, I think the Trudge is a pretty deadly monster. I think I'm going to put it at the bottom of A tier just because sometimes I get a bit cocky with the Trudge and think, oh, it can't reach me, and it does, and then it does loads of damage. But like, it's not super dangerous, and you can normally just avoid the Trudge. The Hidden, is unironically, I think, a solid B tier. Like, I think that the Hidden has dragged me into a pit at least multiple times, which is really annoying. Luckily, I normally end up killing the Hiddens before they actually get to me. Like, the Hidden can be such a dangerous monster with, like, it's got high levels of synergy, and it's just an all-round monster that could do a lot of damage to you in multiple ways. The Spewer, honestly, like, I guess I don't know. I put it like above the mentalist, but below the gnomes. Like it's just like if you're dying, like the spewer just like doesn't really do it. The spewer is actually one of the most helpful monsters because if it gets on your mouth, then you can just spit on monsters like the clown and kill the clown really easily. So it's got synergy, but it's got synergy against the monsters, which I think is really funny. But yeah, I guess it can be annoying if you're on one health and it does its spit attack, but like if you're on one health, like it only requires 4 strength to pick up. Like it's really not difficult to get rid of. Now the Shadow Child, as I was saying earlier, the Shadow Child really should require 7 strength, not 9, and the orb should be somewhere around the frog's orb. It's just like I honestly probably bottom of C. I might even put it in D tier actually. Like when am I ever getting tricked by the Shadow? Like the only time ever is if I'm playing like co-op and I look at it for like a split second. But I've been attacked by the Shadow Child like 3 times in my whole time playing Repo. It's just so bad. And now the frog. The F tier on this list actually sounds for frog. Hold on. Frog. Not F tier, frog tier. Because the frog is genuinely the least harmless, the most harmless mob in the game. If you don't use the frog, you're terrible. Like, it's just so... I just find the frog so funny. Whenever I see it, I rejoice. Because it drops a pretty hefty orb and it's so easy to kill. Because it can be... It can be... This is also a monster that I think should require 7 strength. Because it can get knocked down by small monsters on level 1 to 5. Not small monsters, small items. Like, it's genuinely just such an easy monster to avoid and live. And I think it's so funny. Because look how menacing this thing... Well, it doesn't really look that menacing, but, like... It's got bloody knives. And it's just so easy to avoid. Now the upstream. I have distressed my extreme hatred for this mob. And I think this mob actually might be more dangerous than the Peeper, just because it could just sneak up on you, and if it upstreams you and you're in a pit room, it's just game over. It's actually just game over, and you're screwed. And for that, I think this actually deserves a spot on S tier. You might hate me. You might be like, well, the upstream's so easy to kill. It's got 50 health. It requires 4 strength. But if it sneaks up on you, it is such a deadly mob. And if there's multiple of them, or even if there's just one, it can put you in a combo. I know they said they fixed it, but they didn't. They didn't fix it. It still combos you. It still combos you. I know. It's just like... Oh, hate the upstream. Hate the upstream so much. Most unlikable mob ever. But I still think it deserves the slot at the bottom of S tier. Like, I normally get it, but if I don't get it, it's extremely deadly. And for that, I think that it deserves to go in S tier. Just, like, yeah. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. This is, like, my first content video about Repo. I don't know if I'll post many more Repo videos. Just because, like, I don't really see myself recording Repo and uploading it. Just because, like, it's not... Like, it's a fun game to play, but a fun game to record, I don't really know. But yeah, that's going to be it. If you do want to see Repo videos and you are actually watching to the end, then thank you for watching to the end. And let me know if you want to see Repo videos. But yeah, that's going to do it. Hope you enjoyed me talking for, I don't know, 25 minutes. I don't know how long this is. But yeah, that's going to do it. Goodbye.